Before you book the cheapest hotel in Pigeon Forge and hope for the best, let's talk about some budget-friendly stays that are actually clean, comfortable, and close to everything. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. Let's be real for a minute. Not everyone can afford the high-class hotels or $3,000 a night mountain lodges, and honestly, most families visiting Pigeon Forge aren't looking for that anyway. Vacations are already expensive, and when you're budgeting for attractions, shows, food, and the experiences, spending a small fortune just to sleep somewhere doesn't make sense for a lot of travelers. And that's okay. A great trip isn't defined by a luxury price tag. It's defined by comfort, cleanliness, location, and whether your hotel actually helps you enjoy the vacation instead of stressing out about the cost. In this video, we're going to break down the budget hotels that we've stayed in Pigeon Forge. We're going to focus on the cleanliness of the rooms, whether or not they have amenities and what amenities they might have, and their location in relation to the island of Pigeon Forge. And if you're new to the Pigeon Forge area, you might not even know why staying close to the island would be so advantageous. Well, one of the biggest advantages to staying close to the island in Pigeon Forge is its convenience. The island is a large, walkable entertainment complex right in the heart of Pigeon Forge, and it's home to a lot of restaurants, shops, and attractions, as well, of course, as the Great Smoky Mountain Wheel in the sky. But not only that, because of where it is, a lot of other restaurants and popular attractions have started to build up around the island, making it a good focal point. So if that does sound like something that's interesting to you, then searching for lodging close to this popular attraction probably feels appealing. But it can also feel overwhelming fast. Pigeon Forge has no shortage of hotels and places to stay, and that's both a blessing and a challenge. With so many options lining the parkway from one end to the other, prices can range anywhere from $50 a night all the way to well over $1,000 a night, depending on the season and location and amenities. Sorting through all these choices, trying to figure out what's actually clean and what's close to the island and what offers a real value for the price can turn into a full-time job before your vacation even starts. So that's why it's helpful seeing real-life experiences from people who've been to these places and getting their viewpoint of what you might see if you went there. Now, keep in mind that our experiences were our experiences, obviously, and you will find, no matter where we stay or how great the reviews are, negative reviews. Everyone might have different experiences, and some are going to be very negative and some more positive. All right, so I'm going to share with you the experiences we've had with these budget-friendly places. They are all close to the center of Pigeon Forge, and they are all free parking. They have access to the trolley system, which is a fantastic, inexpensive way to get around Pigeon Forge. If you do want to learn more about the trolleys in the Smoky Mountains, I will leave a link at the end of the video to help you learn more. All right, so the first place we're going to stop at is called the Best Western Plaza Inn. Be careful with the names, because the names, they might be like 5 Best Westerns in the whole area. This particular one is on the Parkway, and it's close to Dollywood Stampede. For reasons we're going to get into right now, this Best Western actually has consistently good recommendations as a budget-friendly stay in the Pigeon Forge. It's one of the better values in a lot of ways, and we'll explain why. First of all, it does have up to 200 rooms. They're all smoke-free guest rooms. All of the rooms also have exterior entrances. I believe there are a couple in the back tower that have interior entrances. We didn't stay at one of them, so I just showed you some footage of those rooms. Most of them are external, which if you like being able to get to your car and unload quick and easy, that's great. However, obviously there are some people that are concerned about security and they don't like those kinds of rooms. I hate to tell you, but most of the budget locations in the Pigeon Forge area are going to be exterior. And when you're driving by, the exterior has a nice stone facade. All of the rooms have been recently modernized, but it is still an old building. So you will definitely still get that classic vibe, a timeless feeling of staying at an old lodge or hotel stay along a highway. The room options range from standard rooms with one king bed or two queen beds, all the way up to suites and kitchenettes and pull-out sofas for families or large groups. Every room has a microwave, a refrigerator, and free Wi-Fi, which was actually pretty good, and flat screen TVs. And there's also rooms that have accessibility for guests with mobility needs. And some of the rooms they do advertise have fireplaces and private balconies, which we did not stay at one of those rooms, so I couldn't tell you what it was. Many visitors consistently highlight how clean they felt the place is and well maintained. I personally had no problems with the cleanliness of the room, which is a big thing because I was also with my parents, and my parents also did not have any complaints, so that's a big thing for my mom to say. We like that this hotel, it has been modernized a little bit, and they've gotten rid of the rugs, which I absolutely hate. I hate rugs in rooms anymore. I know they keep it quiet and other things like that, but I think they're gross. But anyway, in your room, you will find all the basics, including some shampoos, conditioners, and soaps. Each morning, a lot of guests actually really like the breakfast there. They have a complimentary breakfast with hot items, including eggs and sausage patties, pastries, waffles, and the waffles have little bears on them. That was so cute. Cereals, beverages, and enough things to start your day. The property also offers extensive free parking, so pulling in at any hour is easy and there's no stress about it. They also have a back entrance, which is perfect for when traffic on the parkway gets really bad, so it's kind of like a little secret exit way that you can get out of. For recreation, the Plaza Inn actually has 3 swimming pools, 2 that are outdoors and 1 that is indoor, and they do have a hot tub. It's a solid choice for no matter what time of the year because they have the indoor and outdoor pool, which is great for families. 2 disadvantages of staying here is the location, oddly enough, and the noise. The Best Western is about 2 miles from the island, making it one of the furthest from the island of any of the ones that we're talking about. The other disadvantage we notice is that sound does carry very well through the doors and walls. So if you're a light sleeper, you might want to ask to be put on the top level away from foot traffic. The Econo Lodge has a shady reputation when it comes to highway driving and stuff like that. A lot of people are really reluctant to stay in an Econo Lodge because of their, reputation. However, the Econo Lodge Riverside in Pigeon Forge is one of those places that I actually would suggest people stay at. We've actually stayed there at least once. They are budget-friendly hotel, and it's become extremely popular for their value in people staying in Pigeon Forge, especially for families and groups who want a bit more amenities and a nice place to stay without paying over much. The property has about 200 rooms, which are spread across 3 connecting buildings, giving it a pretty good size feel, and it can be a little confusing at times to get around. Not too bad, but it can be a little bit harder to navigate than you'd expect. The majority of the guest rooms are accessible from exterior corridors, which makes coming and going easy when you're hauling your luggage. And there are a couple that we did see that were inside by the pool room, which is great if you have little ones and you love to swim and that's what you're there for, but not so great if you don't like the noise. So the pool area rooms can get very loud, I've noticed. The rooms are typical rooms. The coloring wasn't my favorite, some kind of orangish look about the rooms, but they're clean and nice and all that. They all have microwaves and refrigerators in the rooms, and you're also going to find soaps, shampoos, and conditioners. The hotel does earn consistently strong marks for cleanliness and well-maintained rooms, and guests frequently praise the comfortable bedding base that makes you feel like you're getting more than just a basic room. And every morning, you will also get a complimentary full breakfast with hot and cold options to fuel your day before heading on to explore the Smoky Mountain region. As I've already pointed out, the Econo Lodge does have an indoor heated pool, and it has a little separate children's pool area. They do have a hot tub and a small arcade room, which gives kids and adults something to do if the weather turns on you or you want a break from sightseeing. And the actual layout of the building, they do have self-parking right around the whole building from the front to the back. Most of the time you'll be able to get parking in front of your room if you have an exterior entrance, but some of the spots in the front you probably end up parking in the back. But it's okay. It's not that hard to get around, not really. The grounds around the property are very nice. If you go behind the parking lot, they have a walking trail that you can follow along the river, and they have a fire pit back there, as well as a gazebo for families who want to have a little picnic outdoors. During the summer, it's absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, this is a winter time when we were there, but it was still lovely and just very nice to walk around and enjoy the sights. All right, we're going to head over to the Quality Inn, another place that has iffy reviews if you're doing a roadside stop. But in Pigeon Forge, the Quality Inn near the island in Pigeon Forge is an excellent place to stop at. It's actually one of our favorite budget-friendly hotels in the entire area. This hotel, like many in the area that are budget-friendly, have exterior entrances, which is good if you get a good spot, I'll tell you that, that's for sure. The rooms are equipped with a microwave and refrigerators, and they also have the basic, like the coffee making stations. They have shampoos and conditioners and soaps as well. The hotel does have some really good perks, which makes it pretty much one of the best places to stay when it comes to affordability and accommodations. One of their big standout perks, if you ask me anyway, is their 24-hour pool. Yeah, 24 hours. It's actually open 24 hours a day, which is extremely rare for any hotel, especially ones even in Pigeon Forge. It's a big bonus for travelers who like to unwind late at night or let the kids burn off energy after dinner and their attractions. The hotel also has an exterior pool, which is out in the back. We did visit during the winter, so we didn't actually get a chance to enjoy it, but it's very nice. The other things that this hotel has is one of the really cool, those like bubble trampolines that you see sometimes in outdoor places. It's big enough and sturdy enough even for adults, and we were out there hopping away. It was so fun. I love those things. But it also makes that an excellent extra perk. So if the kids don't want to swim, they can jump instead, which is just as good. Another big perk that the hotel boasts is some of the largest flat screen TVs in the area. I know, it's like you're going on vacation. Who wants to sit and watch TV? Well, I do, so I didn't mind that. I do like watching TV when I'm on vacation to settle down late at night. The hotel has free parking, and they do have a continental breakfast. Well, it's complimentary. Continental, I think, is old cold stuff. This is actually a hot breakfast. So they'll have eggs and they'll have biscuits. Sometimes you might see hot meats in there, like sausages. I think one of the days we were there, they had actually bacon, but I can't remember. I only recorded this day. And I like that they are so close to a lot of the local attractions, making this a true highlight to stay at if you are staying in Pigeon Forge and are on a budget. The next three places we're going to talk about are what I would call the bare bones, true budget value hotels. They were all clean. We had no problems with any of them. But these are definitely places with less amenities and more value for your money, as in true budget-friendly places. The first one we're going to talk about is the Super 8, and it is the LeBlanc Hotel. It's off the Parkway just a little bit. They're behind a Dollar General, but they are close to some other restaurants and other places like that. They're a little bit down the road and not as easy to access the island as some of the other places we've talked about. Like I said, it's off of the parkway and it doesn't have any great views. The rooms are very standard. The hotel has seen some mixed reviews, probably because it is so basic. And when you go there, you're going to sleep and you're going to stay there just overnight or maybe 2 nights. They don't have a pool. There's no frills to this place. But what does make it stand out is the pricing. When we stayed there, we were looking for something very inexpensive. I think we spent $50. And the fact that it was clean and it was a fairly newly renovated space, we felt like for the money and the value, it's definitely worth looking into if that's what you want. But don't expect any frills at all. You'll get free parking though, and a convenient location and budget friendly. That's about all you're going to get from this place. Up next is the Clarion Inn and Suites in Pigeon Forge. It's a hotel that works well for travelers who want a comfortable, affordable stay and don't mind a short drive from the busiest parts of Pigeon Forge. The location might be further from the island than some would like, but there are many very close popular places such as the Dollywood Stampede and restaurants that are family friendly such as Shoney's and Cece's that are literally right across the street. The rooms are laid out pretty simple. They have a microwave and refrigerator. And here's the thing with the Clarion is that they're going through a changeover. They're getting some modernizations. And you're going to see some really, really bad reviews on these guys online. And some that are beginning to show a lot more changes. And I've noticed, I think the thing is the rooms that are getting updates and where they are starting to make their changes, those are the people that are happy with their stays. It's the people who probably got one of the older rooms with the whatever that isn't working or the gross floors. Those are the ones that aren't happy. So it might not be a good thing to stay here until they finish the renovations, but you can always, throw the dice and hope you get a good room. Following them is another hotel chain that sometimes gets a bad rap because they are also known as one of those truck stop places on the highway. It's the Red Roof Inn and Suites in Pigeon Forge. Now, obviously, this isn't a trucker stop. This is a regular hotel that regular families and people stay at all the time. They are budget friendly and they earn the spot on my video because of their location and budget friendliness, but primarily it's their location because they have a very, very good location. The rooms themselves are very standard. I think they did some work on them fairly recently. They don't have rugs anymore, which that gives them a thumbs up for me in that regard. Most of them are king or 2 queen size. They don't really do suites or anything like that. Very basic. They will have a microwave and refrigerator, making them extremely functional for families or guests trying to save money. Now, the overall setup, like I said, is very straight, no frills. They have exterior entrances, so you might be able to park your car right underneath your spot and just get out and go into your room. They focus more on convenience and luxury. Cleanliness, I personally had no problems, but if you go on their reviews, you're going to find some people that were not as happy with that part of it. Like I said, though, our room was very clean and we had no problems with service or anything like that. But like I said, there are some mixed reviews in that regard. Probably the most annoying or negative thing that we experienced was the thinness of the walls and the fact that the heating cooling unit was a little noisy. I had to put a suitcase on top of it to keep it from rattling. But if you're looking at the location, which is literally across the street from the island, and you're not a light sleeper, this place is actually great because, like I said, it's fairly clean. I felt that it was in a safe enough area. I didn't feel uncomfortable or anything like that. They do have an outdoor pool, which obviously is only open in the summer. And they also had one other super awesome perk, which was their breakfast. Now, they don't have a breakfast in-house. What they do is they give you a voucher for pancakes and a drink at the restaurant that's adjacent to them, which is Reagan's Pancake House. Now, after staying at the Red Roof Inn, we became super fans of Reagan's. We go there almost every time we're down there. We really like that place. And if you get the voucher, you can, if you like, I think it's like $7 more, you can then get the full buffet because they do a breakfast buffet, which is phenomenal. I really like their buffet. We actually did a review on them. So if you ever want to go back in, I'll leave a link at the end of the video and you can take a look at our review on Reagan's. I'm gonna finish this video, this review of hotels, by bringing up one place that is not quite as budget friendly as the others. And it is a little bit more expensive on average, but sometimes you need to pay more to get the perfect blend of budget and value. The place is called the Wayback, and it's actually quite literally across the street from the island. They actually have a walkway that takes you from the Wayback right across the road to the island. Location-wise, you can't beat it. And they also consistently earn excellent guest reviews. And they're often praised for their feeling of this relaxed, casual environment. Even though you're right on the parkway, they've created a barrier of sorts that kind of mitigates the noise of the parkway. So you are right there in the center of everything, but at the same time, you don't feel it when you're in your room. They actually done a very good job of canceling noises and making it so you can go into your room and actually relax. Now, while it's more expensive than some of the ultra budget options we have talked about, it still sits pretty low below that Margaritaville luxury pricing. And we actually stayed there more than once. We do, however, only stay there when they have dropped their prices, because you can average from $120 or $30 a night here all the way up to $300 a night, because they do price gouge pretty bad. But if you pick them on the right times, you can get some pretty decent rates out of this place. So one of the biggest draws for this hotel is their laid-back 1960s inspired vibe, which gives it a fun retro personality while still feeling fresh and modern. They actually redid every single room and remodeled the entire place. I think it was 2 years ago they reopened again, and it is really top-notch what they've done. They have these 1960s refrigerators in each room, and there's a sense of pop culture on the walls. They still offer the comfort, though, and convenience of the 21st century by offering extra outlets and USB ports, comfortable modern bathrooms. It's a very nice place to stay. They even have glass. Like, who does that? Who actually puts glass in hotel rooms? But yeah, they had these robes in the rooms. You just felt like you were being treated at a luxury spa. But like I said, on the days we stayed, it was like $130 a night. So that was super inexpensive for what they're offering. We thought that the rooms were super clean. The beds were comfortable. They definitely have a fantastic location. Like I said, right across the street. You can go right to the island and just go there and then walk right back to your room. Their pool amenities are also fantastic. They had this beautiful zero entry walkway pool where you just walk right in, a nice hot tub. And in the wintertime, they had these bubbles out where people can hang out, have a drink. There's a really fun retro bar that's outside that looks like one of those little campers. And they just make it so you feel like you're in top luxury, but you're really not paying all that much for it. Well, unless you stay one of the nights where it's almost $300. Then yeah, you're paying for all these conveniences. Even so, it is definitely a place worth considering if you can pull it off in your budget. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but honestly, what you get for your value might make it worth it. The one thing this place doesn't have, which honestly a lot of more expensive places don't have, is a continental breakfast or any breakfast at all. They have a little bar and food lounge area which you can pay for food, but it's not free. So yeah, that's one thing. You do get free parking though. It's just that it's you don't get the free breakfast. That's one of the biggest downsides of this place, other than pricing. I hope this video helps you plan your visit to the Smoky Mountains. You're getting an honest review from our personal experiences, but facts and things change, so please keep us in the loop if you learn anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear from you if you have found any other budget-friendly hotels in the area and want to share that with us, because who doesn't want to hear from people who actually stayed at places? Anyway, thanks again for visiting us at Fairfax of the Smoky Mountains. Please click that like button and subscribe to our channel.